My name is Lieutenant John O'Neill with the Seattle Police Department, Johnoneil. We are here to talk today about the pattern robberies that have been occurring in the South Precinct. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to give it to Detective Jean Gopan. She's going to give you the facts and the information of what's been going on, and then I'll follow up after that.
Hello everybody, Detective Gina Golpan. So in terms of the pattern robberies, we put out information this past Friday regarding the 14 incidents that have been reported to us since the start of June. Within the month of August, we have had 8 reported incidents, and this is starting from August 6th. In these pattern robberies, in terms of the suspect information, we are seeing that it's a group of 3 to 7 black males in their teens. These suspects, they are armed and they are targeting elderly Asians within our communities here within the South Precinct. In regards to these incidents, they are accosting these victims either outside of their homes or forcing entry into their homes. And this involves either assaulting them with a firearm or holding them at gunpoint and going into their homes, and they are stealing items of high value. So that could be jewelry and large amounts of cash within their residence. They are seen either arriving and or leaving the area, most of the time in a Kia or Hyundai vehicle. So we are still asking the community if they do have any information to please give our Violent Crimes Tip Line a call, which is that 206-233-5000 phone number.
Thank you. We want to emphasize that we're not considering this hate crimes. We want to make sure that's very clear. They're targeting vulnerable adults in our community. And so what we're going to do and what we are doing, we're investigating and we're going to catch them. I mean, that's what's going to happen. But we want to make sure that, we know and the public knows that this is not a hate crime. This is people that are trying to attack our vulnerable adults in our community. And so with that, I'm going to open up some questions.
How do you know it's not a hate crime?
Well, hate crimes are targeted against people because of their ethnicity. And this is more about people that they think are easy targets. And that's what we're finding so far.
Well, they're looking for cash. These are Asians who sometimes don't use banks. Is this what you're looking at as being a pattern? High
value items. So it can be cash, jewelry. I think, pretty much everybody saw the video out there of the last one that happened, and that was very tragic and disturbing. And so this is the kind of thing that, they're doing. They're going after people that think are easy targets. I mean, that's what's happening.
If this has been going on since June, why wait till now, the end of August, to sound the alarm?
So what was going on in June, we had 3, all right? In August, we had 8. And so in order to have a pattern robbery, you have to have a pattern, okay? There was nothing in July. We had stuff in June and 8 in August. Last week, we put out information on our SPD blotter, and we want people to know. As a matter of fact, what I am going to do is have her give a few tips on how you can better protect yourselves. Go ahead.
So in terms of just different ideas, and these are just prevention tips or suggestions that the community can keep in mind in terms of hopefully preventing this from occurring with you. So just being alert. I know we've talked about being hyper vigilant in terms of your surroundings, and if you are seeing anything suspicious, to call 911. In terms of your home, securing your home, whether it be alarms at your entries or exits, windows even, an option of surveillance footage or some kind of camera security system. Lighting is always a great idea as well to deter criminal activity. And if you do have any questions, please contact your local crime prevention coordinator. Anyone in the community can contact them and ask them for any prevention tips and or security tips, and also just about your crime that's occurring in your neighborhood, and they can give you information that you may have questions on.
John, is this in any way, shape, or form related to the other activity that we've seen in South Seattle of late involving mass shootings?
Right now, we're still investigating that, and so if it is, that will come out. But right now, we're still investigating. We don't know at this time.
Sorry to interrupt. Not tied to any sort of gang activity. I mean, there's been accusations that that's all gang related. Is this gang related at all?
Right. Right now, we're still investigating that right now, and as soon as we have that information, we will release it.
And how does Seattle Police respond to the criticism this is a part of town that has been neglected, that this crime has been allowed to continue, and that you have not acted fast enough?
Well, what I'll say is we have our task force going on. We have Captain Brown here. He has been with the community, having community meetings, and we're active. We're out here, we're active, even with a shortage of officers. You know, we got to keep that in mind. We're down 600 officers, and we're still out here active, and we're doing everything in our power, you know, to make sure that this crime stops.
Since you mentioned it, if you did have more officers, would this kind of crime be prevented?
Well, we'll do our best to do so. I mean, right now, if there's more officers out there, there's going to be more presence, okay? So with that said, of course, we want to see more officers out there so we can have a presence out there to detour crime.
Could you offer some more clarity on how you detected the pattern? Because one question I'm hearing is, all right, after 5 incidents like this, after 10, why not point this out? What was the smoking gun, so to speak?
Well, I mean, it was happening all in 1 month is the whole thing. And so some of the stuff I'm not going to be able to share with you because the investigators are investigating. We obviously don't want to give out too much information.
But are the majority of the victims, do we have a rough number of how many are elderly Asian folks of the 14 incidents?
Almost all of them, if I'm not mistaken. That's correct, right?
Yes, just about within the 14, it looks like about 13 of the incidents involved our elderly Asian community.
Is this considered a public safety emergency?
I wouldn't call it a public safety emergency, but it is something that anytime crime is happening and it's a pattern, we're going to take it seriously, and we're going to consider it an emergency, and we're going to react accordingly.
There was talk of a
Sorry to
10-year-old.
interrupt. Couple more questions.
Thank you.
There was talk of a 10-year-old being held at gunpoint. Is it concerning that there seems to be no regard for children in a household too?
Well, I would say this much. Anytime there's a child involved or anybody else, it's concerning, whether that's going to be at gunpoint or anything else. I mean, we see a lot of crime that happens in Seattle, and we react according to it. But yes, it's concerning.
Are you contacting any local AAPI community members or groups to get the word out and help spread news of this? Because a lot of the folks, it's my understanding that English isn't their first language.
Great question, and exactly what we're doing right now. He's assisting with this, and so is she. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that information out in different languages, and that way we can let the community know. Thank you very much. That's all we have for now.